Do you experience pain or discomfort in your shoulders? The shoulder joint is an extremely complex part of the human body and therefore prone to injury and dysfunction. But we can improve this through mobility and stability exercises. My name's Kari Larson, and I'm here with the Yes Lifestyle to help you with your shoulders. We're going to start out by talking about shoulder mobility. Shoulder mobility has to do with the scapula or your shoulder blade in relation to your humerus and your spine. When the scapula stops moving normally, it creates pain in and around that area. So by returning a full range of motion to your shoulder blade or your scapula, we can decrease many painful conditions. So I have 3 exercises that I want to show you today, and I'm excited to get started. All right, so down here on our mat, I have 3 movements, like I said. The first one, we're gonna call telescope arms. So your shoulders and your hips are stacked, knees are stacked, arms are stacked on top of each other, palms facing. We're gonna first protract or reach the top arm forward. Notice my shoulder blade glides forward. The arm reaches beyond the bottom hand. And then I start the movement back by pulling the shoulder blade back towards the spine, continuing to draw that shoulder back, continuing to trace the arm along the bottom arm, cross the shoulder girdle, and opening up. Once I get here, it's a nice stretch. I want to open up through the front of the chest and reach out. Then curl that hand back in, across the shoulder girdle, across that bottom arm, come back to a nice stacked position. Again, protract, reach that hand beyond the other, and retract, drawing the arm in and opening the shoulder girdle up in the front and stretching out, a nice open T position. Again, bringing that bottom hand or that extended hand back towards the shoulder, across the torso, tracing across the bottom arm and back. You're going to do this at least 3 times on each side. Okay, again, this is called telescope arms. The next one is called pinwheel arms. You're going to start the exact same way. Shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked, hands are stacked, one on top of the other. We're going to take the top arm and start tracing it up. My fingertips are attempting to stay in contact with the floor the entire time. When I get up overhead, I'm going to rotate my palm up towards the ceiling and continue to trace that circle. It might be quite the stretch, and reaching out. Good, and then tracing it back up. Try to keep those fingers touching the ground the whole time. Palm rotates back down as you come up overhead. And come back to your shoulder stacked, arms stacked, hands stacked position. Again, keeping your fingers as close to the ground as you can. If you're up here, that's okay, wherever you need to be. Just have them as close as you can and opening up across the front of that shoulder girdle. Again, coming back up overhead and back to your starting position. This too, I would say do a minimum of 3 times on both sides. So you would want to roll over to the other side next and complete the same movement, rotating open and coming back up and rotating. Third and final exercise, starting on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Arms at your side. You're going to bring one arm up overhead and then the other. So again, looking to that shoulder mobility, fluidity of movement. If I don't hit my tripod stand here, up and down. Now rotate your head towards the arm that's closest to it. So that scapular to spinal mobility correlation. Now to deepen the movement and the fluidity and the stretch, we can add the legs in. So as my arm comes up, my legs drop the opposite direction. I look towards the arm that's coming up, and then I go the other way. Rotating it side to side. This should feel good, By the time you're done with these 3 exercises, you should feel your shoulders are more open, more flexible, more limber, and like you've kind of regained a mind-body connection with your shoulder girdle. If you like this post, if you like these exercises, you guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Again, I'm Kari Larson with the Yes Lifestyle. Thanks for joining me on shoulder mobility today.